All right, everybody, how's it going? Good job on the draft. Guys, I'm sorry about the delay in it. Tony, you're the luckiest son of a gun I've ever seen. And for everybody, I'm a little bit salty today between the draft and everybody complaining about this video, so I'm going to give it an explicit warning uh, just out there. So if you don't want anybody to hear this, then you better tell them to quit fucking listening now. But as far as the draft goes, man, that was a mess. Sorry about that. I guess, Mike, you're the one that probably got the worst of it. Tony, you're the luckiest I've ever seen. You weren't even there, and you still got the best players for it. What we're going to do next year, no keepers. And I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. If Mike comes in last again, we'll give you the first pick, okay? So hopefully that helps some. But other than that, I still think we did a pretty good job on the draft. Overall, my thoughts were I think this year's a lot more even playing field. I would say last year we really had some separation, top and bottom for it, but I think everybody did a good job. That was a fast draft. I think everybody came in prepared. But I'm going to go and get straight into it because I'm going to give you these salty fucking grades that you guys don't deserve. All right, I'm going to jump straight into it. We're going to start with the defending champion, Joey. We're going to start off with Rapelessberger. I think he's running out a little bit of steam. We've got some goods on it though. David Johnson, hell of a pickup. He was sitting on the waivers, everybody, and Joey picked him up and got him as keeper. Savvy move there. Ajayi, if I'd done this yesterday, I was going to be pretty down on him, saying it's too crowded of a backfield. But hey, he came through. I still don't think he's going to be the top of the end this year, but we'll see if he keeps up like that. Maybe he is. AJ Green, perennial. Golden Tate. I don't like anything about Detroit this year. I think you've got Clusterfuck Magoo coach over there now, former coordinator. I think he's going to be a big mess. There's too many receivers over there. I don't like anything about it. You got Delaney Walker. I think he's starting to show some age. Shady McCoy, is he going to play the whole season? Is he going to be arrested? Is he going to run away? It sounds like we get another murder on our hands. Who's just waiting for the other foot to drop. I think the Patriots D will be pretty good. I think a lot better without Matt Patricia. And lastly, I think Alshon Jeffrey, while he's injured right now, could come back pretty strong for you. Overall, Joey, B minus. But then again, I thought your team was average last year. Turned out to be the average. Turned out to be the best. Next, moving on to Ben. Ben. All right, here. Where did we go wrong first? Well, you've got Hunt and Hill on your team from Kansas City. Let's keep in mind, it's not going to be Alex Smith, who is an average quarterback. It's going to be even worse. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes. I'm worried about those two guys. Also, you've got Cooks now in LA. I think that's a super crowded field over there. We'll see how that turns out for him. Jags defense, I think every year the top defense ends up actually not ending up being that great. We'll see how they do. I think they'll be okay. But I'm going to go worst overall pick of the draft was Alfred Morris. So this was before that starting running back was hurt for San Francisco, and he's not even the starter now. Only a degenerate Washington fan would get Alfred Morris. What does save your team, though? AB. You've got Henry now also in Tennessee, starter, no competition. I think he's going to have a pretty good season. And I think Rodgers is coming for blood this season, having missed some last year. I think Green Bay is going to have a very good team. Overall, Ben, those three save you right there. I can give you a B plus. Moving on to Josh, we got some problems here. Quarterbacks: Andrew Luck and Dak Prescott. If Andrew Luck ever plays again, I'll be surprised. Prescott, I think the Cowboys are going to be a mess this year. Moving on with that, Elliott, I think also, yeah, of course, he's going to get his yards, but I still think they're going to have a lot of trouble. McCaffrey, clearly Carolina's committed to using him, but one of the things I worry about, though, is that offensive line is fucking injured. You do have, I think one of the good things you have is Devontae Adams. I think he's going to be a top five receiver this year. He's really going to come into it. I'm a little bit worried about Baldwin between injuries, and also I don't think Seattle has a good line. Burton is supposedly a budding tight end out of Chicago, but they still got the shitty ass UNC product Trubisky throwing to them. So we'll see how that actually goes. I was worried. I was thinking Hogan maybe only good at first, but I see on the bench too. Very smart move. Also got Edelman. I think that's going to pay dividends down the road. I think this team's going to struggle a little bit. Josh, C plus. Moving on to Newman. Man, this pains me to say it, but I think Newman probably has the best draft. Deshaun Watson, he was going to be probably a top 2 quarterback had he stayed healthy. I think he's going to be one of the best players in the league this year. I think he's going to be MVP conversation. Melvin Gordon, we almost kept him. The hype is so big around not even San Diego, where the hell they are now, LA. I think Gordon would be very good. I think he's going to be probably about the same as he was last year. I'm interested to see what Miller does down in Texas with Houston. Let's see. Jones destroyed us last night. I didn't think he was going to do that good. For only scoring 12 points, that was a pretty impressive outing. Mike Evans, obviously, it's going to hurt not to have, what's his face? Jameis Winston down there for a couple weeks, because I don't even know who their backup is. But we'll see if they get their vibe back together. I think Tampa Bay is a mess right now. David Njoku, man, we wanted him. But if you watch any of Hard Knocks, this guy is a beast. I think he could come through and be one of the better tight ends now. Larry Fitzgerald, I thought he was dead last year, and if he's still playing this year, who's throwing to him in Arizona? No way he does that shit again this year. Couple huge things that I think Newman's team sets apart. Coleman stepped up pretty big for Atlanta last night. It looks like he's finally getting that balance with Freeman. Juju Smith-Schuster, I think, is going to be one of the top 10 receivers this year. And, of course, picking up Connor as soon as Le'Veon Bell goes down, I think he's going to be good. I think anybody could run behind that line, and doing that there. Got to give Newman an A, as much as that hurts me. Peyton. Newton, Cam Newton, that offensive line is horrendous, but I think Newton is finally healthy. I think he's going to be closer to the form that he was originally MVP year than he was last year. Devontae Freeman, I am worried about him. I mean, it's easier to say that right now with that one game under our belt, but Eagles have a hell of a defense, so we'll see. Drake out of the backfield of Miami. I didn't realize how good this guy was till his numbers from the second half of the season when Ajayi left. He looks like he could be a beast. Also, DeAndre Hopkins, if he and Watson can get rolling again, I think he's going to be huge. One thing I don't like on this team is having both Sanders and Thomas from Denver. I think Denver's going to be pretty bad on offense as far because of quarterback. Also, Marvin Jones, you guys heard me rant about Detroit's whole shit there. I mean, did you see that preseason game with Cleveland? Like, they make Cleveland look like the fucking Patriots. Speaking of Cleveland, Carlos Hyde, we'll see. I think he could be good. He's been waiting his turn. I think he's finally got a green light. I know he's got Duke Johnson there, but I think he's going to be pretty good. A little bit of concerns on this team. Give him a solid C. We got Mike next. Mike, sorry about the draft. I tried to shaft Tony. You saw that I did. But he still turned out pretty good, all things considering. Mariota, I think he was hurt some last year. I think he comes back big. One of the things I like on your bench already, Corey Davis. I think he's an underrated receiver out of the Tennessee Titans. I think they could hook up, do pretty good together there. Probably one of my favorite picks is Dalvin Cook. He was on his way to a huge season, tore that ACL. He tore it pretty early, so I think he'll be all right. You got Howard of the Bears. I think they're going to be much improved. You still have Trubisky there. They're going to rely on the run game. One of my favorite receivers from last year, Adam Thielen. This guy is under the radar good, and I think Cousins is a lot better than whatever they had in there last year, so I think Thielen has a chance for a good year. You got Woods. I think LA's a little bit crowded, but I still think he'll get his production, 600-700 yards. Got to go big with Gronk. If he stays healthy, that sets your team apart from everybody else. You got Collins in the backfield, underrated out of Baltimore. I think Baltimore bounces back this year. A couple of the things I like in your team. Devin Funchess is finally coming to the zone. I think Texans' defense is going to be good. Kerryon Johnson, the only guy from Detroit that I think is going to be any fun and exciting. I think they're going to get their offense, but it's going to come from all over the place. Nobody reliable. One pick I do like is Eifert, second tight end. If Gronk goes down, he's solid. You could even play him as a flex. Altogether, I'm going to give it a B-, Mike. So, next, moving on to Will, I think, who has the worst team because of his so big of a swing. I don't know if it's all going to catch. Stafford, I think, is a mess. And let me just tell you, Will tried to trade me straight up Stafford for Drew Brees. Like, I don't know what world this is in to think this, but no. We've got Kamara. Very good chance, I think, being the top running back. I think he's going to be really good. I think the Saints are going to be good altogether. Mixon never really fully comes through. Cincinnati, you hit or miss each week. I will wait to see on there. Jury's out on that. Amari Cooper, I think Oakland is going to be the biggest shit show there is. You got John Gruden. He doesn't know anything about football. He just talks really loud at you and like wants to be John Madden, but he's not even that cool. There's like 19 receivers there. I don't know who's going to get it. I don't think it's going to be Cooper. You got Reed and Washington for the tight end. They're going to go downhill majorly after not having Cousins. I don't like that. Josh Gordon, if he comes back and is any good, I think he's going to be one of the stories of the century. No one can stay away that long. Or else, he's going to drink at some point, get high, and get kicked off as well. Also, one of my least favorite picks of the draft is Rex Burkhead, the running back from the Patriots. Like, no, that's not going to work. Will, solid C-. I expected better from you. Moving on to Tony. Tell you what, Tony, you lucky son of a gun. You still got a good team, not even being there at the beginning of it. Tom Brady, I think Swan Song, I think he's big. I think Gurley, now I don't think he's going to be number one overall like he was last year, but I think he's still going to be okay. Williams, I can't think of the last time there was a good running back at Green Bay. Maybe Dorsey Levens, like literally 2 decades ago. Odell Beckham Jr., he got paid. Let's see if he cares or not anymore. If he stays healthy at that. Stephon Diggs, I think he's good. I think Thielen is going to get more production than Diggs. I'll be really curious. I think they have a chance. Minnesota, I'm high on this year with Cousins coming in. Then you've got Zach Ertz, solid over there. See how long that he's there without Carson Wentz. One of my also least favorite picks of the draft, Jimmy Graham. Like, the dude, of course, was good at one point. God, he's screwed over so many people since. You've got like the oldie goldies on here. You've got Adrian Peterson, Jordy Nelson, Cobb, and Deshaun Jackson. Like, hell of a team back in like maybe 2014. Then you got Calvin Ridley. I thought he was going to be a lot better. Had a goose egg last night. And lastly, Cousins on your team. I think you got some trade bait. I think you got some good room to work with. But I don't know if that's the best use of drafting, knowing that you already have Brady. Give it a solid C. Liz, where do you start? Le'Veon Bell screwed everybody over. I think everybody hates him right now. That's a huge hit. We'll see how that goes for you. But you still have Fournette. There was another one, Montgomery. I didn't even know who he was. Had to look up. He's like the second string one for Green Bay, apparently. T.Y. Hilton. We'll see if Luck is going to play or not. Robinson for the Bears, still Trubisky throwing to him. Lynch, I think, is done. But you do have some positives. Russell Wilson, number one quarterback overall last year, I think was underrated. Greg Olsen, obviously, is going to get his touches. Anderson out of the Jets had a hell of a good year last year from whoever was throwing to him, and I think he and Darnold are actually going to hook up, be pretty good. And also the Eagles, I do think, are going to end up being the top defense. Liz overall C would have been a lot better, but Le'Veon Bell decided that he doesn't need to do shit. Lastly, Mike Mallory's team. Drew Brees, I don't know what everybody's hating on him for, but we got him pretty late. Now, we went pretty risky. We do have Barkley, who I think is going to be consistent. We also have Royce Freeman, rookie. You got to start somewhere. I think he's going to be big. More consistent on wide receivers. Keenan Allen and Landry, number 3 and 4 receivers overall last year. I think they could be. I think they could be a good tandem for us. I think Allen might be one of the top people for it. Also got Kelsey, essentially a receiver for us. I think one of my favorite things about it, we've got like 3 starting running backs on our bench. We got Barber out of Tampa Bay. We got Breida, who is now the starter in San Francisco. And lastly, we have both Carson and Penny. I think one of those guys may blow up in Seattle, but we'll see. I think Seattle might be like this show that everybody's going to be expected to be good, and they might be horrible. Going to give us a B+, given that we got a lot of rookies on the team. But overall, I think we're going to be pretty good. Overall, like I said, I think it's a pretty even playing field. I think we're going to have a lot closer games this year without a lot of disparaging differences there. Overall, like I said, I think Newman's going to be the top overall team. My prediction so far, Newman's going to be in first. I think probably Ben is going to be up there again. And also, I like us this year, as those are the top 3. My biggest concerns are going to be Will and I think Tony are going to be 2 of my biggest concerns. Will, Tony, and Liz. If Le'Veon Bell doesn't come back. But there you go. Those are your draft grades. Good week. Good luck in week 1. I know we've already started underway. Hope you have fun.